Okay. Let me show my face first, actually. Hey, hackers. I am live once again. Let me put some music on. It's too quiet. Let's see. All right. Let me know if that's too loud. Hopefully that's not too loud. I'm going to lower it a little bit. There you go. All right. What's up, people? It's me. You can see my iPad right here. There you go. Let me turn my iPad off right now. I have it up here in case if I need to take any notes. For whatever reasons I may need to take notes. But today we are doing episode 2 of the Codex project, right? The other day, I think it was earlier today or yesterday. No, it was yesterday. I finished a payload for the rubber ducky. So that's going to be the next video, probably on Monday, I think. It's basically a keylogger through the USB rubber ducky and PowerShell and stuff. It's really cool. So subscribe and check out that when it comes out. But yeah, today we are going to keep working on this. I'm going to go ahead and show my screen. All right. All right, I think the music's too quiet now. Let me make it a little bit louder. All right, hopefully that's like an optimal volume. All right, and it's royalty free, so hopefully, no, what's it called, copyright flags or whatever they're called. Go ahead and try to strike me down or whatever. So what did we do last time? Like, what was our error? Let me get into PowerShell. And we're going to cd into documents, code, Python, and then Codex, I believe. A list. Yeah, all right, cool. So if we do a Python 3 and then I don't think our main.py is actually configured yet. Where's our main.py? There's so many files in here. Resources, roadmap. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's nothing in the main.py file. So I guess I'll have to go into the Caesar directory then, or the ciphers directory. So cd into ciphers, list, and then there you go. Python 3, and then our Caesar cipher.py. Okay. Let's see. Caesar. Interesting. Okay. So what we need to do, and at least for most of this session, is we need to fix the keyword arguments as well as fixing the, what's the other thing I'm looking for? The keyword arguments and the CLI. Those are the two things we need to fix today. So when it comes to our CLI, or the command line interface, oh, there it is. All right, cool. So if arguments exist, I'm trying to remember how I did this. That's right. So we check for arguments, right? So we're going to try sys.argv whatever, and then exception index error. Okay, cool. So if there are arguments, all right, and then it runs the CLI with arguments exist. So then we go to CLI, and then how do we? So if arguments are there, then we're going to go through the parser. If there aren't any arguments, we're going to give. Okay, so why is this not working? I think it's the actual parser itself that's having issues. That's right. We need to make these. This is when you need to check your to-dos. I literally have a to-do right here telling me to make these. Well, these are keyword arguments, I believe. So I need to make these normal arguments, I think. All right, so what I'm thinking of doing is we need to have an area where this is going to be like our help menu, right? I guess. So we're going to go here, and when someone just runs the file and wants to do one-liners, they need to know the arguments, right, in the order. So we're going to have the main.py, then there's going to be attack. Okay, well, this is kind of like the practice round, right? So we're going to have this, let's do file.py, and then there's going to be the cipher. So the cipher is going to be either tech E, D, or B, right? So we can do tech E, tech D, tech B. All right. And then we're going to have a input, right? And then, yeah, so we're going to have the input. And what's going to be the input? We're going to need the tech IF, the tech input text, the tech OF, and I'll just do input, yeah, because those are the two inputs. Then we should have the output. So we'll have the cipher, then we'll have the key. Awesome. So what's going to go here? Well, tech K. All right. And then there's going to be the input, and then finally it's going to be the output. And then it's going to be the tech OF and the tech Awesome. So when someone runs a one-liner, this is the format that it's going to have to be in, right? So the first thing that's going to go through is the cipher. So let's see. So this is just the encryption process. Yeah, the parser, right? Okay. So this is from the argument in the second place or the first index going down. Interesting. I should have filled up my water before doing this, but I'm too lazy to get up right now. So, all right. So I need to figure out how I need to get the keyword arguments and the arguments separated in here as well. So what we're going to do is in our parser, we're going to have the ciphering process be equal to the sys.argv, and then this is going to be, because if 0 is the file name, then 1 would be the keyword argument. So this is, I went from 2 and up. Awesome. So this ciphering process variable right here is going to be any of these 3 keyword, or any of these 3 arguments right here. Okay. So how are we going to get this working? All right, so with the parser, if it's, oh, that's right, we have files up here. Okay. So we just gave these values of none. So we still need text input as well as file input. How are we going to do that as well? There's a lot of stuff I need to figure out for this thing. So let's get rid of this. Oh, whoops. So we'll keep the key, everything up to the key. So we had to get rid of EDB. Cool. All right. Ops args equals get ops. Huh. Okay, so we can get rid of these and get rid of this right here. And then up here is where we will get our arguments. So we can do if the ciphering process is equal to attack E, then we can encrypt, right? So then we would do encrypt Caesar. Okay, so we're going to have this underneath so we can get the keyword arguments first. And then under here, oh, so if argument check is true, okay, yes, we're commenting all of this out. Yeah, so we're going to comment that out. So if argument check is true, then we're going to do this. So ciphering process is equal to sys.rb1. Then we're going to do an if ciphering process is techie. Then we're just going to encrypt. So arguments is equal to the parser. So we need to get rid of these ones as well. So arguments is equal to parser. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if the ciphering process is E, we're going to encrypt. If the ciphering process is equal to tech D, here we're going to pass and we are going to decrypt Caesar once we have that function up. And then if the ciphering process is equal to attack B, we are going to pass, and then we are going to brute force. Okay. This is actually going out really well. I'm actually kind of happy with where this is going. So the problem that we're having right now is the parser. So the order that we need to have is the order. So we need to figure out, we can handle those not in the parser, but in the CLI function, I think. Here we need to get the key, input, and output. So that means we need to move this K value up here. So we need to do a K colon, and then here we're going to have to move right here. So that comma space. Awesome. So that's going to be input text, input file. So we need input output file and output text. Okay. What's next? Then we have for opt arg and ops input options. If opt is equal to input file, then the cipher file is going to equal that argument. Okay. Then if opt equals so if opt tech output. So instead of tech output, so we wanted to have an option for the output file. So that's plain file. And then we are going to uncomment these. And then this is going to be the output text. And then the plain text is equal to args. Oh, whoops, comment this out. So the plain text variable, where is that? Oh, uncomment that. And that way, the plain text, why is it still having issues? Plain file and plain text. Plain file and plain text. So for encryption, decryption, brute force, we should delete these because I don't think we're using them anymore. Incorporate other cipher options here. Interesting. So if it's true, it's going to run this. Well, we should only run the arguments parser if we have arguments, right? Because if there aren't any arguments, it's going to run. Yeah, so we don't need arguments out here. All right, so let's run this. Oh, snap. Yo. Look at that. Look at that. That was way, way easier. Okay. Wish I had more viewers. It's like one person in here. That's awesome. All right. Appreciate it. Documentary show. Cool. What we need to do is, can we get? Is there like an EF if I put that? Oh, wait. So enter file name. Do we have a file up in here? Can we have a test file? Where's this running in? The ciphers? So let's make a new file in the ciphers. We'll call it file.txt. And then we'll put a little hello world. So enter file name, we'll call it file.txt. The encryption key we'll use 5. Okay. Type error, int string. So it works. The CLI is starting to work. The CLI is implemented. This is good. Now, realistically speaking, this is going to be a separate file for parsing, but I just wanted to do it directly in the Caesar cipher so we can kind of figure out how it works. And then once we get that, we can actually make the whole thing work outside of the Caesar file and work in the other ciphers as well, right? Okay, this is kind of dope. So what happens if we add something? Let's say if we add a tach e. Cipher file reference before assignment. Cipher file is assigned here, and it's referenced here. So Huh. All right, let me think. So we have the CLI works. The only thing is the encryption process isn't working. So we don't need to worry about that right now. What we do need to worry about is the one-liners. So if we have one-liners, what's going to happen? It's going to run the CLI, right? So sys.argv1, right? So if that exists, it's going to be true. So it's going to go up here, and it's like if argument check is true, which is true, then argument is going to equal parser. Oh, encrypt Caesar. How do we encrypt? Oh, do we need to put files in for the Caesar? Plain content and the encryption key. Okay, so plain content. Okay, so we need to figure out. Okay, so I figure out what we need to do. We need to figure out whether or not the other arguments have values in them. So we have the key argument. We have, okay, So for opt, arg, and ops, so the input file is going to equal an arg. Oh, I see. These naming options are bad. Because, yeah, all right, so we're going to redo these naming options. So instead of cipher file, we're going to have, because it may not actually be an encrypted or it could be varied, because you could be decrypting as an option and encrypting as an option, or brute forcing. So we're going to do and to make it easier to understand, we're going to do input file. Then we're going to have input text. Then we're going to do an output file. And finally in output text. All right, cool. So now that we have those variables we need to make sure that the argument variables up here are kind of living up to that name. So we need to move the key. So the key is, it needs to be an integer as well when we go through to encrypt it. Alright, so let me put an int, because when we get it through the terminal or through the one-liner or however the person decides to parse it in, it may not actually be an integer, it might be a string. Alright, what's next? No, match lengths to ciphertext to see if extra characters exist. Oh yeah, that's going to be annoying. What else is... So we have the key, that's fine. So now we need to do input file, input text, and then the output file and the output text. Let me actually take out kite while I'm here. Alright, let me make sure that's a good... Alright, yeah, there you go. Alright, what's next? So cipher, oh, okay, so we need to change these names as well. So we need input file, and then we need input text, then we need output file, and then we need out. Oh, is that why it was gray? Because we never returned it? I mean, output text. Oh yeah, there you go. All right, cool. Now the key needs to be up here. And there you go. So we have the key, the input file, input text, output file, output text. Now, what? So the cipher file is equal to All right. Interesting. What I'm wondering is with the parsing is, all right, so we can have it detect whether it's encryption, decryption, or whatever. We get the arguments, and all we need to figure out is if each argument, all right, yeah, I'm gonna put this in the comments so I don't forget. So we'll have a to-do, check if args are empty, and if they aren't, then you would put them into, as an argument or as a parameter or whatever, into the actual function. I think that's correct. I hope that's correct. So with the arguments parser, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We ignore the 0th value because that's going to be the key that we parse into the rest of these functions. But with these other 4, we need to figure out whether the user actually put in an input file or not. Okay. Unless if we make 2 separate parsers, one for input and one for output, and it will return if either one. No, that's too much work. That's too much work. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm kind of lost, guys, not going to lie. All right, so let's see. Input, output, ciphering. Okay, so if opt is equal to... Oh! Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait 1 second, y'all. Hold up. Let me print the arguments, because it won't return an argument if we didn't put it in. Am I wrong in guessing that? Oh, what's up, sister? But I think that's right. I think that's right. Okay, so let me actually run it instead of just like guessing or assuming. Oh, it just didn't work? Okay. But if I do, oh, wait, instead of a tech E, key reference before assignment. What do you mean? I just need you to print out the arguments. That's it. Can I just do print parser in here? How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just trying to figure this out. I finally got the code working, or I got the CLI working, but I need to get the one-liners working and separating the keyword arguments from the arguments, as well as making sure keyword arguments have values to be passed through. I think that made sense. How you doing? All right, let me print. Can we print it out? Can we print it out? Can we get rid of this and just print it out? Oh my gosh. Key reference, what? When did I reference key before all this? Control F key. That's a doc string. Doc string. I make key a variable. It just has a value of none. All right, let's change these Boolean values into... Have you used argparse? Okay. No, I haven't used argparse. I probably should, but I'm figuring that also have. Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm like I haven't used it, but I know what it is, and I've seen people use it. Should I be using it? Because I'm just using. Let me see if I can show you. Like, do I still have that doc screen, or did I delete that? Yeah, like so this like kind of right here. So if you were able, like if you ran like Python or like Python 3 file.py, the file.p would be the sys.argv0. Now if you added something after that, like a tag-e or a tag-f, that would be system.argv1. So any like, I guess not keyword, any standard arguments, I only start using recently. You know what? All right. I'm going to take what you're saying into consideration. So I'm going to just put like, if this shit doesn't work out, use argparse. I'm going to put that at the top right here. Notes, if this shit doesn't work, use argparse. There you go. All right. And can you guys hear the music? Because I tried to put the music up or put some music on to make it a little bit more interesting. All right, let's see what we should be doing. Oh yeah, you mentioned the Hack5 Hack5 party. I have some Hack5 videos coming out. I made 3. I have a sorry, yeah, I lost track of what I was saying. So I do have some the Wi-Fi Pineapple tutorial, Wi-Fi Pineapple module stuff, and then I also have some malware for, or like a payload for the rubber ducky. I'm probably going to make that video come out on Monday because I think it's the most interesting. Okay, the music's good? Cool. All right, man, I'll see you around. I'll see you Sunday, actually, yeah. Sweet, the farm content has been rad. Awesome, appreciate it. So let's see if I just make all of these, I guess, like output text. I guess I'll just have these. I guess it really doesn't make a difference, but like maybe the Boolean values are kind of tripping with it as it's going through. I honestly don't know. I'm just trying to make it. I'm making a guess up here. Okay. If you guys are confused at all of what I'm doing, I can explain. Just let me know. All right, let's see what we need to do now. So key is equal to integer version of arg. I'll see you Sunday. Have a great evening. All right, man. See ya. What line? What line are you talking about? Oh, unless if you want me to explain a certain line. Okay, so the CLI is working fine-ish. It's really just the error in it. 70. Okay, so return key. Key is not referenced. All right, so I guess it's like this section. It's really just this function right here that's having the most trouble. I'm gonna close that for now. Yeah, this function is really having the most problems. because we get all of the keys right here. I don't understand that. Oh, unless if I didn't put it in. Oh, okay, wait. So if we do Python Caesar cipher, tag E is the first one, then it's tag K, and let's just say 5. Does that... Yo, that fly just came back. On the first time I did the stream, there was a fly in my room, and they just disappeared for the past week, and now it's back as soon as I start streaming again. Alright, so return input file. Okay, yeah, see, this is the problem right here. What we need to do is, okay, we're going to add a list of, and we're just going to return the list of values that exist. So we'll just call this arg list, I don't know. And let's make our arg list is equal to an empty list. Cool. Now, so if there's an option if, I guess we just append the argument to the list, right? So arg list dot append Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. So we would append the input file. Actually, no, we can just append the argument, right? And not have to worry about this. I think, I don't know how good of a practice that is, but we're just going to stick with it and see what happens. So that append the argument. I think I'm just going to copy and paste this. So append the integer version of the argument. So if we return arg list, and let's get rid of this. Because see, if we just run it normally, without any things, hopefully, yeah, all right, see, it works perfectly fine. But if we want to use the one-liner abilities, the tag E for encrypt, tag K, let's say 5, and then tag input text is hello. Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna run this real quick and then, oh, it's missing, okay, this might be working. So what I'm doing is having the ability for users to have a command line interface and one-liners, all right? So people who somehow kind of get confused on the ability to use one-liners or want to walk through it with the instructions can use the command line interface or the CLI, right? The other option people have is the parser, so they can use the one-liners. So if I were to run this file, right? And the only thing I ran was the caesarcipher.py. If I ran it, whoops, it's just going to ask you to input an option. You can encrypt your file, decrypt your file, brute force your file, whatever. And it's going to be like an interface that way. Or you can be like this, tag E, and then tag K. I meant the specific function is returning. Yeah, I'll show you that. Input. Okay. So the arg list is this parse function right here. Let me kind of make this a little bit smaller so you can kind of see that a little bit. So yeah, this is the function right here. I'm going to get rid of these variables here in a second because I don't really need them. But that's the general look. So with the arg list, when we encrypt Caesar, we can have the arguments. Can we print the arguments? Because I know the second one's the key, which is arguments, not 0. No, it is argument 0, yeah. Because argument 0. No, the key needs to be the first thing added. So I'm gonna kill that fly, dude. Alright, so the K should be the first thing added, which means it will be the argument 0. But what if someone swaps the order? Unless if I just make it that required order. Or I can make it a dictionary. Just if you are grabbing out of argv and showing it into a list, it hasn't necessarily parsed. Kind of. So the parse is basically just allowing arguments to be passed through into the code, right? So if there are no arguments, it's just going to run the beautiful command line interface. If there are arguments there, it's going to figure out what argument. So if it's a tag K, then that's the key. If it's the tag IF, that's an input file. Tag OF is output file. OT is output text, etc. And this is like kind of like the order, right? So you're running whatever the file name is .py. Then you're going to do attack E, attack B, or attack B. And then you'll have your tag K, then your input, and then your output. So for the encrypt Caesar, it needs to be the plain content. So that would be either, that would be 1, and then, all right, so if we do arguments 1 and argument 0, let's try this. So input text is hello and output. Oh, wait a second. So the output, the attack OT is okay. So what we need to do is cycle through all of the arguments that are being added. Hold up. Let me just run this. Let me run this. Let's see if that works. Oh, tech OT needs a value. I'll just do high, whatever. Okay. All right, I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. Because the CLI is fine. It just... the plain file input and the shift key. And yeah, this shift key needs to be an integer. And then, yeah, so yeah, the CLI is fine. It's really just the one-liners. So if someone were to do something like this, the tag E, tag D, and tag B would be considered through the actual CLI function. So if it's an encryption, they're going to do encrypt. If it's a tag D, they're going to decrypt. And if it's a tag B, they're going to brute force. So that's fine. The problem the problem is trying to get these other arguments. Okay, so what's the order? It's tag ed, whatever. And then we're going to have our tag k. And then it's the tag if, it. And then if we put a tag of, but we don't need a tag ot, do we? Because if we just, yeah, we're going to get rid of the tag ot. Because we can just have that be a default. All right, yeah, that's easy. So we don't need the tag ot anymore. So tag ot will be the default, and unless if they parse in a tag of, then the tag ot would be the thing that goes out, which means output text. We can keep the output text. So cipher file. This is where it's having the issues right here. So cipher file will be the input file, I guess. So if the input file is empty, it will print. Oh, no, we can just do, could we parse in the argument list? So arg list, right? And then we can just have, could we just parse in arguments? And then in here, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to parse in arguments instead. And then up here, we're going to get parsed values. Now, so the encryption key, so encryption key is equal to parsed values at the index of 0, because that's where the key is placed. And then we have the, finally on a real keyboard. So that's the encryption key. What's the other thing we needed? Plain content. So the plain content is going to be the parsed values at index 1, I think. Oh, back on PC you can see better. Awesome, awesome. And then, so in the parsed, how many arguments would technically be dispensed? 1, 2, 3. We don't need a tech OT anymore. Oh, we can check the length, right? If the length is 2, it means, okay. Oh yeah, so when the input file, we're just going to make them requirement as txt for now. And then we can just, so if it's a tech IF, oh, that's, wait a second. No, that's going to be too much in memory though. Hold up. Could we just have the content, let's do red file is equal to file, how do you do this again? Open, I think. Open the argument in read mode dot read, and then we're just going to append the red file. I think that will be fine if we do that. So I'm going to get rid of these variables for now. I don't think we actually need them. If I do end up needing them, I'll just add them again. I'm not that pressed about it. All right, what's next? So this arg list will have either 2 or 3 values. Oh, okay, wait. So it can either be a tech IF or a tech IT. So the user can't put both, and we need to find a way to make sure that they can't put both. Oh, we can just do this. We can do an if attack IF and tech IT so if tag are in ops, then return, so not letting get ought parse the mode argument, I see, and you get by the odds and flags. Yeah, so I'm basically just getting them as values. I'm just going to pass this for now, but basically here we're going to say terminate or end this shit. What's the size thing? What? I didn't put that there. Cool. Were you wanting to walk through both and put them in a dictionary so it's easier to reference later? I'm a little confused on your question. All right, so what's next? So we get the key. So when it comes to the cipher file, we need to change that. So we can do this we can handle this in here. So if so you take the argument and what do you really want out? What does the ideal return look like? Okay, so basically with this first section, I'm trying to make like the Caesar cipher, and I don't know if you saw the first video episode or not, but there's going to be a bunch of different ciphers that are all. It's going to be like a cryptography suite, right? And what this first, I guess, area is doing. This is kind of like the test phase almost. So I want to make sure that we can be able to effectively use one-liners and such, and then like with each argument. I'm trying to find a way to put it. Do you want something you can reference by name rather than using? I guess when it comes to the actual encryption like process, then yes. But I guess right now all I really need is just the argument list, and then out of that list I can get the values that I need. I think that should answer your question. I'm not sure. Oh, you're talking about the parser function. Okay, so what I want the parser function to do is basically go through the arguments past the index of 2. Because the 0th argument is the actual name of the Python file we're running, and the first argument is the encryption, which is tag key, decryption, or brute forcing. What this is going to do is all the arguments past the index of 2 are going to be our keys, our input abilities, our output abilities, whatever. So what we're going to do is kind of just loop through those arguments, get any of these arguments and assign them to this list. Then we're going to return this list. Then from there, I guess it's just going to be like, okay, so once we have that list, then we can send that list off to whatever encryption process we're doing, so we know what values we need to encrypt, decrypt, or brute force. That list becomes nearly the same thing as RV. Yeah, it's just more, I guess it's kind of just like isolating it a little bit. Because we're assigning, but I see your point. So I guess to save myself some time, I see your point. Well, let me think this out. So the key, what if I use insert values? If you really want to have something that's associative where you can reference it by name rather than. Yeah, okay. So like a dictionary, that's what I was thinking, a dictionary. Yeah. Unless, so I could do the dictionary, or I could insert the values in certain positions. So I guess like the index would be like the key and the value would be the value still. That's just without the actual dictionary, so I don't have to parse through all the information. Right, so if I like did an insert, I forgot to do this shit. Insert, I think it's index position 0. Yeah, be very specific with your positions. Exactly. Okay. So what I want to do is specific, like kind of have this parser kind of organize the arguments. Okay. Thank you for your help, dude. I appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to insert the key in index 0. Then the inputs are going to be insert placement 1. And then this is going to be index 3. Insert. No, index 1, 2, index 2, right? Because there's only, yeah, okay. So then we're going to insert this in index 1. And then we're going to insert this in index 1. Now, in order to avoid both of these being inserted into index 1, we'll have this to kind of clean that up. I guess I'll figure out how we're going to do that later, but I just need to know that I need to do it, so I'm just leave that here. To do, fix this shit. All right, and we don't need the output text. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Otherwise, you do the same work back over, or that'd be very specific. Okay, yeah. Okay, so where does that open if statement? Yeah, let's get rid of this. Let's make an over code red. So with the cipher file, so when we return our argument list through the parser, right here, the 0th index will be our key. The first index will be our input, and our second index will be our output file. Unless if there's no second position, we're also going to see if okay. So if we can get this working properly, then we wouldn't have to worry about these two duplicating. And then when it comes to this, if there's only 2 values in the list, then we would just have the output defaulted to the terminal screen. There you go. Look at that. Okay, so now that we can just throw in the arguments. So to save myself on code, we're going to go back to the encryption key and the plain content. And then down here, once we get our arguments, let's actually assign these arguments. So we're going to say our key is equal. So hopefully we should be able to get rid of these. I'm going to comment those out. All right, where on earth was I? So our key is going to be arguments at index 0. Then our content, encryption key parameter. Let me check. And yes, it did. Thank you. You probably just saved me like 2 hours of like searching or whatever. Content is going to be equal to our arguments I'll just do inputted content. It's going to be equal to arguments 1 all right, and how do you check if there is, so if the length of the value of pair programming. All right, this is actually going out good. So arguments, so the length of arguments, are you on the Discord server, by the way, Ozzy? So if the length of arguments is equal to 2, that means we are going to have our, then we're going to have Night Mine. It's in the description if you want to join. Don't feel like you have to, but it's a pretty cool place. Let me check. All right, so when it comes to the arguments, no, not argument check, arguments, we're going to need arguments position what? Sounds rad? I appreciate it. Arguments position 3 would be equal to, we'll just make it equal to true, right? Oh no, make it equal to false, because if it okay. False. And there's 2 spaces here, so let me get rid of that. All right, so if the length of arguments is 2, then arguments 3 is going to equal false. Awesome. Or should it equal true? It's going to have to equal something. I'm going to make it true again. I'll figure it out later. I just need a value there for right now. Ciphering process is equal to system.rv. All right, so instead of putting the arguments in here, we can now just put inputted content and our key. There you go. Okay, so if the length of the argument is equal to 2, then we'll make a different variable. We'll call this print content equal to true, because we need to print the content. And then else the print content will be equal to false. Now let me put a comment here so I don't forget what this is. Checks if user checks user's output type. There you go, perfect. Now we are going to do a comma, print content. All right, so now up here in our encryption, we are going to do a print type. So our print type is just going to be how we output this whole thing. So output the content. So if our print type is equal to false, so if it's true, we want it on the screen. If it's false, we're going to write it to a file. Oh! Okay, no, this should be good. I can't run it yet, but so far, it's going good. What I need to figure out is the print content area. So if it's true, we want it to be printed to the screen. Otherwise, we're going to open a file. We're just going to call this, what should we call the file? We'll do Caesar, attack encrypted. Wait a second. If they did attack OF, otherwise print content other than being equal to false, we're going to have the value be equal to argument 3. No, it's going to be equal to arguments 2, which is, excuse me, the third index. Okay, so if length arguments is equal to 2, print content equals true, else print content. Okay, so if the print content equals to arguments 2, that's going to be the file name. So, where's the encryption? So, if it's not equal to true, we're going to use print type The true might throw it off though, right? If it's true, that means it has, oh, okay. So let's just give it like 0. So, yeah, the true might throw it off. So, where do we do that? I think it's in the parser somewhere. All right, yep, we're deleting this. So yeah, instead of true, we're going to do 0. And that's how you do it. All right, so all right, I think that's good, actually. I'm going to try running it. I don't have any high hopes or anything, but I'm going to try running it. Okay, so if we do attack E for encryption, the tag K for 5, the tag input text is hello, and if we don't do anything else, it should print it to the screen. Okay, interesting. So it should have printed out. So there weren't any errors, which I guess is a good thing, but it didn't have any output either. So right now it's just running the command line interface. Where's the CLI? So it prints the banner. Two steps forward, one step back. So we're not going to print arguments in here. Oh my gosh, if argument equals true, that's equals to 0. And I'm using the wrong values here, y'all. I'm so sorry. Let's try this again. Now I'm scared because there's probably going to be an error. Yep. You gotta love code, man. You gotta love code. Index is out of range. What do you mean index is out of range? Arguments 1. That's 1, and that's the second one. So the key would be 5. What line is this? Line 134. Arguments 1. So now I'm confused on why exactly sorry, I'm checking out the Discord because people are DMing me. Cool. Anyways, let me focus on this. The problem is, for whatever godforsaken reason, let's fix this. What we need to do in here is make sure that if one or the other is in here, so did the tech IT not go through? Oh, this is still the append. Do I need to do an insert? Is that what was wrong? I feel like that wasn't what was the completely... Yeah, it's still not working. Okay. Let me check if the command line interface works though. So if I do a Python 3 caesarcipher.py, if I do encrypt text, okay. Before returning, print out the list. Yeah, let me do that actually. Print the arg list. Oh, I need to have something be parsed. Oops. Interesting. All right. Oh, wait, look at that. It says 5. Oh. So it got the key. Okay, so it's getting the key. But with the IT hello, it's not getting anything. So what's the difference between the key? Arg, list, insert. That's fine. When it comes to tech IT, did I spell it right? Yeah, it's tech IT hello. Does it need to be in quotes maybe? I feel like that's a little bit odd. Yeah, no, it's still... It's saying it's out of range because it's not adding it. That's what okay. So the problem with this now is... Let me just comment out these bottom two instead. Yeah. So it's adding the key. So for opt args and ops, if the opt is tech K, then it adds the argument. If the opt is equal to tech input file, then it's going to read the file and then add the contents to that list. And then if it's an IT, it's going to arg list, insert arg. I think there may be something weird about adding numeric keys out of order. It isn't necessarily out of order. Because I even put it in the order it would be anyway. Maybe do it with a dictionary? Okay. My concern, though, with the dictionary is that, I mean, if it's not working with a list, I don't know how sure I can be if it's working with the dictionary. Like, if it's not working with the list. Plus, okay, well, dictionaries are in order, but they also, okay. All right, yeah, I'll try your idea. So we'll do arg dict, and that will be an empty dictionary. So under here, we'll do arg dict. How do you add to a dictionary again? I forgot how to do this. It's like arg dict, and then I think it's the key, which is going to be attack K. You know what's funny? I taught Python, and I forgot how to do this. All right, let's figure this out. Repositories. Introduction to Python 3. Addiction. .1. Dictionaries can be indexed, values can be added. Okay, so it's just like that. Got you. I don't know how I forgot that, but so this will be equal to arg, right? And in this case, the int version of arg. So, and now comment this out. Cool. So comment this out, and then we'll do arg dict, and then here we can do attack if, and then we'll do equals red file. And so we'll comment this out, and we will also comment this out. And then we're going to print the arg dict, and then return arg dict dot items. Cool. And then we're going to finish these other two. So comment this out, and then we'll do arg dict, and then in here we can do the tag IT, and then we'll do it equals arg, and then one more, I guess. Just return the dict. No. Oh, I guess, yeah, I can. All right, I'll return the dict, because the dot items would allow me to iterate through it. Dict. What's the last name? Tech OF. And then have it be equal to R. Okay. So we can try this. Oh, wait, this is not going to work. Hold up. Because in our command line, we get the parser arguments So the key is going to be equal to arguments tag k, and then this is going to be arguments tag input text. All right, this is not gonna. That's all good, dude. I mean, this isn't going to be. This is just like the testing for the first, I guess, module. I would say. So what we need to figure out is if we go move to dictionaries, which is actually a fairly good idea. What we need to figure out. So if the length of our dictionary is, I honestly forgot. I haven't used dictionaries. I haven't coded in Python in a while. When it comes to dictionaries, oh, so the get method gets the keys values. Okay. So instead of doing the nums.get whatever. Okay. So arguments.get and then the k. I think that's right. Yeah, okay, cool. So that's how we would have to do it. So arguments dot get this tag IT, and that should be dope. So also you could be simplified if r equals param for file read file as. Oh, that's a good idea. One of my concerns, however, is if they put both. Whoops. Like if some dumbass puts tech IT and tech IF, I need to find a way to, like, so I can kind of solve for that, I guess. All right, so if we do if, let me see what you did. If arguments dot get oh, can you do in? Can you use in on like that Boolean operator in? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay, so if the tech input text in arguments. So if tech IT is in arguments, or tech if IF in arguments, then we can oh, and what? Okay, the dictionary is actually a pretty good idea. Hold up, because we don't need to read the file, and instead, we're just going to have the argument be put in here, and then we'll read the file down here. Okay, so read file will be equal to open arguments dot get the tech if. That was very pseudocode. No, it's all good. Okay, now what's the line? That's all, man. That's all good. I gotta get the general idea of what you're trying to say. So if we get that, and then if we do read, dot read, that should be good. And a lot of people get annoyed when I do this. Instead of doing it like with the colon and then whatever, but I mean it works, right? So this should be the name of the file. Oh, so we can have the ITs instead of, oh, we'll just have this be the inputted content. There you go. Then everything simplifies from 4 if statements, then do arg dict opt equals arg. Kind of, sort of, yeah. All right, so this print content, I can delete, and instead, so all we need to figure out is the output. So we just need to see if the OF is in the file. I guess we could specify a tech OT, right? Because I got rid of that, so it could just be the default. I meant back in parse. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so let's keep it like this. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to get rid of the list. We don't need it. I think I'm going to be bold and just assume that this dictionary is going to work. Otherwise, I'll just blame you. No, it's good. All right. Now, I guess what we need to figure out is the tech OF. So I gotta go. That's funny, dude. Oh, man. Alright, I need to figure this out. How am I going to do the tech OF? I guess we can do something similar to this. It really was fun kicking it back guys at the supermarket. Alright. Take care, man. Checks for... Okay, so for the tech... how am I going to do this? I'll just say checks for now. So if the tech output file okay, so what we'll do is we'll have a print content variable. So print content will be equal to true by default. By default, we are just going to print, that's the default. If someone specifies a output option, I guess, the output file, so if that's in the arguments, then here checks if output was specified. I spelled that wrong. Specified. There. Wait. There you go. And then so if TechOF is in arguments, what do we do here? I guess we can just have the print content be equal to false because we are going to have a file output. Okay. And then all we need to do in here is just throw in the print content. There you go. All right, so now we need to modify the encryption. So print CNT. Awesome. So if print CNT is true, we're going to print the content. Otherwise, we are going to open oh, wait a second. Oh, okay. So instead of false, we need to have a value. We need to do the get. So how do we do that? Arguments dot get the tag, whoops, and then the tag OF. And then from here, you should just be able to do the print CNT. All right. So we don't need this arg list anymore either. So let me just double check this. So if it's equal to true, because I'm worried about the fact that we made it have a value of true. It's just going to consider it true if there's a value there to begin with. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's going to happen. So to save ourselves some, I guess we can just try it, you know. So tag IT, tag K is 5. It's still not, oh my gosh, dude. Unhashable type, arguments.get. Key equals arguments.get. Did I do this wrong? Nums.get. No, that looks right to me. Huh. Alright, at least we're making some progress. So what line is this? 133. Key equals arguments.get the tag K. So and if we check it says 5. So that unhashable type list. Why is it having so many issues with that? Is there an area where I'm still using something for specific to lists? Arguments equals parser. Ciphering process equals sys.argv1. Alright, so this is the check ciphering process. This song is weird. I'm skipping this song. There you go. Okay. So what's next? How do we figure out where we're going wrong? This is fine. And checks if OF and arguments, print content is equal to. key. When we put it through the encryption process, L of characters upper, so if print is true, so why is the parser not working? That's what's really confusing me though. Because like the parser should be getting all of these values so if the option is equal to tag K, that's fine. Huh. Let me think. So why is it not using the args? So this is in the argv index 2 to the end. So it's key, input file, input text, output file. Then we have our argument dictionary. Then for opt args and opts, if the opt is equal to tag K, then we're going to add the 5. Now the 5 has a space after it. Interesting. Do I have to strip all these things? So what if I run this again, but instead of like that. It actually still recognizes the 5, which is pretty cool. Maybe if I get rid of these double quotes here. Ah, my goodness. I might look into argparse if it's going to fix something like this. Alright, it's time to do some serious Googling. But even still, Python arg parse. I'm using the wrong browser for this. So import argparse, you have a parser, then parser.parse args. So positional arguments. Like, I'm not trying to learn all this. Like, it looks interesting, and it looks like it probably could be useful, and it probably is useful, and I probably should be using it. However, I don't feel like it right now. I want to see if I can get this working. And if I still can't get it working, then I'll move to the other one or whatever. So let's see if we can. Man. All right, let's see. To do fix me. I won't add all of the args. So we get the arguments. Like, why is tag k the only argument that it's finding? What if I change these up? So what if the 2 letters is like throwing this off? Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom, get some water, and then I'm going to see if we can tackle this. All right. All right. All right. Let's see if we can get this done. Not by, obviously we can't get the whole thing done, but let's see how much of this we can get done. Yeah. All right. Let me check this out. Let's see what we're doing. Fix me. I won't add all of the args. Why won't you? All right, let's see if we can try like attack F for file, attack T for text, and attack O for output. So if it's attack F, then if it's attack T, and if it's attack O, attack K, attack F, attack T, attack F. All right, and now we're going to go down over here. We're going to find all of the attack I capital T's and replace it with attack T. Then we're going to take all I capital F's, place those, and then I think attack O capital F and replace that with O. Let's see, so attack K, input attack equals argument that gets attack T. Alright, I think that should be good. Alright, so let's see if we can run this. So tac K will be 5, tac, what is it, T will be hello. Yes, dude! Yes! You guys see that? I don't care that the encryption's not working. It got it. It got it. Alright, what's next? Getting this to work. So, I guess you can't have two letters, which is fine. So, oh, that's perfect. Okay. So, tac T, so where's the error now? It's still having problems with this unhashable type list. I think I'm doing something wrong when it's trying to get the nums.get. Oh, I have square brackets in here. I can't have square brackets. So let me just get rid of. I thought you had to use square brackets, but I guess I was wrong. I think like that. Alright. Hopefully that should do the trick. Inputted No such file directory. Then why are you opening it? So if T is in arguments, oh, instead of T, it should be F. There you go. So let's try this again. No way! No way! Y'all know how long that took? Oh my gosh. Look at that, boys. MJQQ. There you go. It works. The code works. Oh my goodness. What about the... Okay, so... Can we try doing attack F? And then we can do... What's it? File.txt? Okay. What's the problem here? What's the problem here? Oh, it's getting the attack T. It needs to get the attack F. Look at that, dude. It's missing the exclamation point. And it's because it's deleting the last character. Yeah, so when it does this thing right here, so we're going to comment this out. We're going to have to figure this whole thing out. However, if we do this, did it wipe the file.txt? Oh, so if we comment this out. Alright, so instead of output text, we can just do output and output. And then comment this out. And if we run this, there you go. Oh my gosh, dude. So can we do an output file? So if we do, actually let me do this. We'll make it a little bit bigger. There you go. So if we have attack F file.txt, can we do attack O and then, I don't know, output.txt? Alright, moment of truth, moment of truth. Nope. So what's happening here? Where's the parser at? So if it's attack O, we just need to fix this, attack O. There you go. Let's try this again. So there's an output.txt. Yes, dude. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to have to make the parser its own function, so we don't have to do this for every single... Not necessarily. I'm going to figure that out, all that other stuff later. But... I can't believe we actually got that working. That's such a good feeling. Alright. What's next? The command line interface. Alright, so let's see if the actual CLI is still working. So if I do this, all right, we need to get this thing up and running as well. And I think all of these characters need to be backspaced by 1. Where's the banner? Backspace. Whoops, 1, 2, 3. No. And now it's too far back. Oh, it's good on this end. So this needs to be up 1. There you go. So if I Control C, oh, that's perfect. Caesar cipher. Dude. That's such a good feeling. Oh my gosh. I'm happy that's working. I'm actually see if I'm able. It works. Okay, actually, one-liners fixed. And then we can sync that up. Awesome. Okay. So if we yeah, I can exit out that. I guess we now need to get the CLI working. So let's delete these. What else can we delete? We're going to keep that for now. We might need to incorporate that range actually. So if I do a one-liner and mix up the order, will it still work? So we're not going to do attack O, and we're just going to do, so if I do attack T hello, and what should it be if it's not? Well, yeah, and then the tag K, and the tag K. Five. Oh, that still works. Okay, but I don't think we can swap the E around. I think the E has to be there. Which is fine. We can fix that in the future if we want to. But for right now, that should be fine. Alright, anything else that I need to be keeping up? Well, it does work. For now. We do need to add colors, yeah. We don't need that reference anymore. We're also going to need to clean up this code. Imports, we have our banner. So we don't need this output text anymore. And we'll keep this here for now actually, because we still might need it. Parser Argument. You now add all the arguments, which is dope. All right, so here we can say we loop through arguments, assign them to dict, which is our arg dict. There you go. And we don't need to print this anymore, and we can just return it. And then, all right, so now we can start working on the CLI. So we display the banner, we check for arguments. So check if arguments are empty. We'll have to worry about that later. So if it's false, where's the else? Yeah. So one-liners, and then this else is going to be our CLI interface. All right, so now that I'm thinking about it, do I want to add a CLI? Or should I just have it be? I feel like the extra functionality would be helpful for people. If I can't get the CLI to work, I don't think I'm gonna implement it, because we have one-liners working perfectly now. All right. Well, let's worry about that later. With the command line interface, however, I guess we need to ask because we had to ask them for all the inputs manually. So if we do the tech.ef, encrypt file tech.et, because then it's just more complicated. So if there aren't any arguments, we can just have the help menu show up. I'm really thinking this is a better idea. Because if someone doesn't specify the arguments, then we can just show the help menu of the arguments that they have available to them. I feel like that's better. And I feel like that's what most shell scripts are doing. But then again, I don't know. I don't know how. Because I'm happy the one-liners work. What I'm wondering is how I can get a good CLI without it being CLI interface. So how can we get a good CLI that doesn't keep asking for a shit ton of user input? So we have options, the new line, then a tab. So okay. Yeah. Alright, that's what I'm going to do. Alright guys, say goodbye to the CLI for now. In the future, I might implement it, but at the end of the day, I'm figuring that the one-liners are a lot more simple and a lot more straightforward. So, help menu. So, if they didn't have any arguments, we are going to print this giant help menu. Let's make the single quotes so we can stay consistent. And our cool. So let's start writing out the help menu right here. So Caesar cipher one-liners. One-liners. I don't like how it's capital one-liners. There you go. All right. So the first argument is the ciphering process. All right, I don't know how to specify those. Then there you go. And then this would be an example. So tag E, tag K, we could say 5, and then tag T is a hello world. And then, yeah, so that's just an example. Then when we can delete these, additional arguments, and then these will be our additional ones, like this. Delete, backspace, backspace. Perfect. All right, perfect. So this is the additional arguments. So it would be this, and then you would put your integer key. All right, and then tag T. You can just do plain text. All right, and then this is a tag F. So in here we can put input. Should the tag F be a tag I for input, and then Control H, tag F, and then we're going to replace it with a tag I for input. That makes more sense. Hopefully, tag I. All right, hopefully that didn't mess anything up. There you go. So attack. And then we can do the input file. And then here can be our output file. And here we can do output file. And I guess like something like that would be kind of more neat. All right. Tech T, hello. Output will be printed to screen by default. Awesome. So this is basically what we need to print out. So we're going to cut that out. And can we just print out the docstring? All right, I guess we can try this. So if we do a Python 3 caesarcipher.py, Caesar cipher one-liners, there you go. That's awesome. So caesarcipher.py, and we do an encryption. We can do a key of, let's say, 17 and a tag T of world. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So instead of printing it out just like that, I want to format it. All right, so where's the encryption site? Right here. So instead of printing output just like that, we can do an F string, and in here we can say encrypted content \n. There you go. And then a \n on this end. Oh, that's awesome, dude. So once I run this, encrypted content is this. Oh, that's perfect. All right, so the encryption process works. So now we had to develop the decryption process. And it should be pretty much the same thing, it's just the different formula. Oh, whoops. Let me go here, and we can just do decrypts content, and then this is the encrypts content. All right, now what we need to do is create how do I want to do this? Def, sorry, I keep like zoning out. Def decrypt Caesar, I guess. Caesar. Alright, so what did we have in this one up here? We're just literally going to copy this exact same thing. You know what? I'm just going to copy this entire function. So, this, I'm going to have that be up here somewhere for future reference. There you go. So we have some to do, we have some notes. Awesome. Now, this entire function, I'm literally just going to copy and paste. All right, so now we need the plain content, we need the encryption key, and we need the print CNT. So now instead of adding these, all this is going to do is subtract these. And then we're just going to say decrypted content. All right, awesome. So with the decrypted now done, let's copy. So this right here, NFICU, should end up decrypting to world. Actually, let me finish doing this real quick. So decrypt Caesar. We need our inputted content. We need the key. And we need the print content. Print content. There you go. And then we can do decrypt Caesar. And then this is the encrypts Caesar. Whoops. There you go. And then this is going to brute force the Caesar. Awesome, dude. Let me close this because we don't need this anymore. Get some more water. All right. So if all goes well, we should be able to change this tag E into a tag D and then change world into an NFICU, and the output should be the word world. Yes, dude, look at that. We decrypted it. World. So we were able to encrypt it and decrypt it. Awesome, dude. And if I want to do a tag O as an output file, we can have output to output.txt. Okay, so why is this not working? 65. So print content should equal true. Did I not include that? If print content is equal to true. So with open print CNT in write mode as F, file.write output. Oh, it worked. Oh, no, no, it didn't. Never mind. That's the... Why did that not work? For character in plain content. It says none type. Where is plain content? Oh, it's plain content, encryption key, print content. Oh no, that's still the same thing on this end. Ah, okay. Why is it not working now? Because if it's attack O, so it checks if output was specified. So by default, the print content is true. If the O is in the arguments, so we have that attack O right here, it's going to have the print arguments equal output.txt. And then when it goes to decrypt, what's wrong with the plain content? Oh, 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 oh. I didn't have any input specified. Let's just do tech T. There you go. So, because the output is automatically specified, what happens if I don't specify a key? So if I do tech T, hello. So we're going to do a try, and if we get a type error, ciphering process this. So we're going to try here, and if we accept type error, what? Type error. There you go. We're going to print what should we print? We should just say no key or input was specified \n. Please use the tech K, I think, and or oh, I have an idea. So we'll just print the menu out. So let's have this. We'll just say help menu equal this. Now let's go up here Alright, we'll have it go under the symbols. Actually, no, it'll go right above the symbols. So, help menu for displaying argument options. Awesome. So now we can just have this else statement can just print the help menu and no specified, so we can just do a \n and then the help menu and then make this an F string. So if we go over here and do something like this, no key or input was specified. So to make this a little bit more clear, just to let you know there's an error. There you go, no key or input was specified. Awesome, dude. So, I think that's it. I think this whole thing works. We need to clean up the code a little bit and do some other small tweaks and stuff. But this is the first out of the for other few, I guess, done. I'm wondering whether or not I should implement a parser for the whole program or just for each. Well, each cipher is a little bit different, and I want them to work independently. I think I'm going to do a parser for each one for now, and then in the future I might do something like that. But now we got to color this, and we got to make it look pretty, clean up the code. So let's clear, right? So I'll go down a few just so you guys can see. I'll go down a few more. Awesome. So if we Python 3 the Caesar cipher.py, it says Caesar cipher, and then it tells us Caesar cipher one-liners, and then the first arguments, options, and then additional arguments right here. Oh, we're not done. We need to do brute forcing. I might save that for tomorrow. It's getting kind of late here. How long has the stream been going? 2 hours, 40 minutes? I think I'll do another 20 minutes. I think I'll just do a full 3 hours and try to get that. Awesome. All right. So if you guys didn't see the previous part, this is an old brute forcing program I made a while back. Oh, interesting. Okay, so when I was first developing this project way back November 30th, 2020, I had the code, when it comes to brute forcing, allow you to brute force all 26 keys or to brute force just like your own custom range. I think I might implement that in here. All right, but that's like a thing. That's like a whole piece of work. All right, so for right now, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I think we have a working version using one-liners. The brute forcing So what's Honor to do? So we need to add colors. So before this, we need to do brute forcing, right? So brute forcing and range and 26. All right, so we can delete this note right here. All right, we're going to delete this. Say determine whether extra characters are going through. All right, so let's cut this out and put this down on the encryption right here. All right, so I'm gonna quickly just clean up the code a little bit and make sure that we're good on this end. So let's start from the top. Banner for CLI. All right, then we have the help menu, we have the symbols, the path. Instead of at Codex, it needs to be at Caesar cipher. And then we have the note here. Output content to CLI. And then this will be output content to file. Decrypts content, and then outputs content to CLI, and then same thing here. Outputs content to file. And then parse all the arguments. And then I don't know if we need to actually check if the arguments are empty. So what happens if the arguments are empty? So if I do like we'll just do like attack T. Okay, so if we get a get opt error, we'll just say so that will be for the next round, because I'm gonna end this stream a little bit and get onto that other stuff later. So check if args are empty. We can try code and then accept the get opt error, right? There you go. So this is our kind of our to-do list right now. Let's see. Alright, I think that's going to be it for this video. I cleaned up the code. I guess we can pull. We're going to go ahead and just say one-liners modified. And then we can sync it. All right, so let me go on my screen. That's going to be it for this stream. We were successfully able to get the one-liners working for the most part. All we need to do is kind of just make sure that we are able to get the brute forcing done, the other bugs done, but the actual code works, and I'm very happy about that. I do have the GitHub for this project open, and even though it's not done, if you guys just want to check out the code and make any contributions or anything like that, just feel free to do so. My GitHub is linked in the description. I believe the project is linked in the description, but if it isn't, I'll make sure to put it in there or in the pinned comment below. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the support in the chat and anything like that. So make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe, and do the whole YouTube algorithm thing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So stay happy, stay positive, and as always, happy hacking.